Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
All right, all right. Good evening, and thank you guys for tuning in to the PA Empowerment Network. My name is Kendall Stevenson. I will be the host here on today's show. Today we have a really good show coming up for you. We got some something that may be a little bit of a surprise to you. So let me hold on. Oh, I hear him. I think he's at the door. Let's bring him in. Oh, there you go. Hey, how you doing, Grandmaster? How are you?
Oh, Kendall, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. And thank you again for coming on to the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Good to have you as a friend of the show. So let's kind of like get right into it, right? Let's tell people who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Dan McEady, and actually, I'm a martial arts instructor. I'm a life coach. You can put it like that. I don't just teach martial arts. Exactly, I can say I do because everything I do have to do with self-defense, and self-defense is nothing but the protection of oneself physically, mentally, or spiritually. That,
And the I understand there's a course that you're pretty much instructing right now on teaching people, particularly the elderly, I like to say, or as my wife would like to say, the maturing, how to breathe properly.
yes, well, this is what I do. I work with a lot of senior citizens. Some people live a whole lifetime never truly knowing how to breathe.
Hmm.
And what we do, we introduce people or we reintroduce them to themselves. Now, this, when I say reintroduce, it goes beyond the presence, it begins at birth. If I can explain more in detail,
Surely, please do.
it is believed by many of the masters that when a baby is born, he is born with light. And that light gives him or her all the secrets of the universe. He knows everything there is to know. As he begins to grow and develop as a baby, he attunes himself to his environment. He responds accordingly or how he is being treated.
Hmm.
If he's hungry, if he's fed, he's going to be happy and nourished, which helps produce balance. If he's wet and he's dry, again, that balance is again stated and known to him. But if he's ignored
Hmm.
and not treated the way a baby should be treated, he responds to that. So that's the beginning. The beginning also is that as he grows older, all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that he possesses, he loses.
Hmm.
Now, you heard the state or the saying, he's in his terrible two stage.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. And ooh, man, when a child is in their terrible twos, oh, I understand why they call it terrible twos. I tell you, Grandmaster, I got a grandson now that's in his terrible twos, and whew, 5 kids later, and I understand terrible twos, but please explain it to me.
Well, basically, he's in that mischief state, but there's nothing terrible about him. So we
Hmm.
have to watch our language and what we're saying.
Mm.
Because the old saying, life and death is in the power of the tongue, you have what you say. But what I'm saying is that he's going through a change. All the knowledge, all the wisdom has left him and he don't understand.
Mm.
Because if it stays with him, he's able to give knowledge that most men and women are not ready for. You know, the human is the last of the animals to be able to communicate coherently. A dog can communicate, a cat can communicate, even a bird. I have a bird in here. He can communicate. But we, as humans, we communicate last. But what I'm saying
is that? Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Because of the wisdom and knowledge that the child possesses. He loses that.
Oh.
Everything he had as he gets older and older and older, he loses his rhythm of life. And what I'm saying is that he loses his proper way of expiration. Breathe in and breathe out. He begins to develop habits that are distorting him. Ask the average man or woman to take a breath. You know what they're going to do? They're going to raise their shoulders. They're going to bring in their chest. And that's definitely abnormal.
Really?
Now you say you have grandchildren?
Sir.
Okay. So if you have a grandchild that's a little baby, if you watch the way he breathes, he can teach you a lot. Our first breathing exercise that I teach is called the embryonic breathing.
Okay.
Now, there are 33 different breathing exercises, and then we have extensions of them all. Okay. So the key thing here is that when your breathing is off, you invite disharmony within your body.
Wow.
That's the key.
Anybody that's tuned in, which I can see there's a couple of people tuned in, if you'd like to give us a call and you'd like to speak to the Grandmaster, give us a call. The telephone number here is 908-899-3089. Please pick up the phone, give us a call, give us a like, or give us a subscribe, or if you'd like, leave us a comment. Thank you. I apologize for that, Grandmaster. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's quite okay. So what I'm saying is that the most important thing that an individual must strive for is balance in his or her life. The most important thing. And if you can't breathe right, you're not going to be able to walk right. In most cases, you won't even talk right. And in most cases, you will not be able to function as you was born to function. So the key thing that we teach that breath is more than just the oxygen that you breathe. And what do I mean by that? Okay. I have a Bible, I have a Quran, I have a Tanakh or a Torah. And in all those books, it says that when God took his breath and blew into the nostrils of Adam, he became a living soul.
Absolutely.
Now, what does that mean? That means that when God took his breath and blew into the nostrils of Adam, God did it with intent. And his intent was to create man in his likeness, in his image. And what is the image? The image is not physical. The image is spiritual.
There you go.
So what we want to develop as we learn these breathing exercises, we want to develop that same type of oxygen, that same type of air that went into Adam, that enabled him to become
life, living, right?
Yes, a living soul. A living soul.
Wow.
That's the key. So when we are learning these breathing exercises, this is what we are developing. We're taking more than the oxygen, we're taking in spirit. You see, the The Chinese call it chi. The Japanese call it ki. In India, they call it prana. But it's more than those words. This is why I don't speak in those languages when I teach. I teach in a language that the people in my environment will understand.
All right.
Because all this chi, ki, and prana, it confuses them if it's not explained properly. So when we begin to take in the breath of life, and it becomes more than an oxygenated energy, it becomes spirit.
And
that's
so is
the
this the
beginning of it.
mythology of like a meditation? Is that like
That
go
is
along
the
hand in
beginning.
hand? That's the beginning of meditation? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, we may have a little difficulty here. I'm asking, is that also a part of meditation, the proper breathing techniques? Oh,
I
wow, you
don't
can't
know
hear me.
if I don't
You can't hear me.
seem to feel I'm connected right now.
Right, I can hear
But
you fine. I
in
think you
case I
just
am,
can't hear
I'll
me.
continue to talk.
Please do.
All
Continue to talk.
life is precious. And we have to, I don't know if I lost you for a minute, Kendall.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm
So,
here. I just don't think that you can hear me.
okay. Or I didn't hear you.
Okay, good. Well, I had a question for you about meditation. Would all this technique also be utilized in meditation?
Well, you have to breathe first before you can meditate properly.
Okay.
If the breathing is not in rhythm, you're not going to be tuned to elevate yourself to the level of consciousness that you're striving for. Because again, when you are meditating, you're sitting in repose. You're elevating the most powerful part of your bodies, from the coccyx to the medulla oblongata. And the most powerful part of the body in meditation that we must be aware of is the sacrum area. That's one of the most powerful areas of the body.
Can you explain that to me? Break that down for me? I don't think I've ever heard that term.
The sacrum is the lowest. It's the most powerful bone. We're dealing with the trochanter. We're dealing with the pelvic. We're dealing with the coccyx. And the coccyx is where the energy lies. What do I mean by the energy lies? That inverted pyramid. All the power, all the forces of nature lies there. Now, a lot of times people say, well, the pineal gland is the most important. The pineal gland is not the most important because we have to first activate that gland. And the key to activating that gland is the coccyx. That's our survival area. And what gives us the power? The earth. Have you ever
So again,
thought?
we're right back to the earth. Right back to the earth. It seems that everything comes. What is the old saying? Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It seems like we end the same way we begin.
Yeah. Well, the key thing here, what makes the earth powerful? Have you ever wondered how the trees grow? How the grass grows? Do you ever wonder what enables?
No, that's way beyond me. I understand it as it being a spiritual person. I believe that it someone or some being had the ability to create and make a tree. I don't have that ability. Humans don't have that ability. So that's kind of
No, we don't have that ability, but we do have the ability to connect with the power source.
Yes.
Of what produces the tree, the grass, and that is the earth. So So we want to learn to connect with that energy. When I do my breathing exercises, I like to go out and take off my shoes, and I like to breathe right in front of the trees. Now, all the trees in my surroundings, they all have names. Each one has a name, and I know each one.
You know, I got to tell you, it's funny that you say that because I got about 41 trees in my house. We planted them all, and we give them names. And the names that we give them are actually family members' names.
Mm.
So my daughter has a tree, my son has a tree, my grandkids, everyone has their own tree.
And that's beautiful.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. So what I do.
What I can see right now, as you can see on the screen right now, these people are telling me it's time for me to take that quick little 30-second break, pay the bills. Okay, so we'll be right back.
Hi, we're Chantel Davis and Brian Davis. We own Willie Mays Place and Legacy Mines Winery, located in Gilbert, Pennsylvania. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner and wine flights and really delicious Southern comfort food. Come and join us. We'll happily seat you, your family. We have a beautiful farm-to-table garden as well as 2 therapy donkeys named Freedom and Friar Tuck that you're welcome to come and visit. Give us a call if you have any questions or would like to make a reservation, and we look forward to seeing you.
Hey, Grandmaster, question. Have you ever got an opportunity to go down into the Gilbert area and check out the restaurant? Can you hear me, Grandmaster? Testing 1, 2, Grandmaster. I'm back on. You know, we can hear you just well. He's there. I can see the Grandmaster. Anyway, the brother is talking about breathing techniques that we need in order for us to actually survive and to grow. So, Grandmaster, can you hear me? Grandmaster, can you hear me? All right, we really seem to be having this difficulty here. We had it once before earlier during the show, and I do apologize for that. I like to get him back on. Grandmaster, can you hear me? Grandmaster, can you hear me? Okay. Grandmaster, can you hear me? All right, looks like Grandmaster, can you hear me? Grandmaster, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now. Okay, outstanding. I was asking a question. Have you ever been down in the Gilbert area and checked out the Willie Mae restaurant?
Yeah. No.
Well, I'll tell you, you're missing yourself a treat especially if you happen to like Southern cooking. They specialize in Southern cuisine. They got a couple of donkeys there, so if you want to bring the grands down or something like that, you can have a good time down there. I go there about once or twice a month. My favorite is that cheesy grits and catfish. I know it's not the best, but tastes damn good to me. So let's get back to what we were talking about, the discussion about the breathing and how we utilize it in our life in order for our survival and for our longevity.
Okay. So I want to just return back to the breathing in a second. I want us to focus this time on ourselves for this minute. For this moment, what I want to say is that we have to have a connection with ourselves. We have to know how to initiate the energy, to build that energy, to refine it, to help the blood to circulate, to sharpen the mind. So what we need to do, we need to learn to connect with ourselves. Now, I've said this before, and I might have mentioned this some time back ago when I was on your show. But for those who haven't heard this, I would like to introduce it to them. And for those who've heard it, I'd like to remind them. The key and most important aspect is to give yourself attention. Just like you give the baby, you have to have an intent with yourself. You want to be able to communicate with the body. Two of the most important parts of the body, and I'm saying two, because every part is really important, because each part unifies itself, that makes the whole. But the first two we need to connect with is the heart. Now we can call the heart the mother or the queen of the body, or I will say the temple, because I look at my body as a temple. I look at it as being holy and sacred. And this is very important, to treat your body special, because each individual is special. And how do we do this? We do this by the unification of love. So each day, before I do anything, when I awaken, I give thanks to my God, or maybe to the universe, whatever is your higher power. I give thanks to that power. And then I give love. I give love to my heart, and I tell her how much I love her. My heart has a name, and I call her by her name. And each day I spend time, not a second, but a few minutes, sometimes even 10 minutes, and I just enjoy talking to my heart. And when you make that a practice, your heart begins to beat, and it begins to send frequencies throughout the entire body, which helps the lungs to produce and project and be instrumental in supporting the flow of blood and circulation. This is so important. Many people who've had heart challenges have been healed through this type of communication. And this,
without the use of medication, just
without
utilizing this technique
of medication.
Wow.
Have you heard of the Japanese gentleman who did an experiment with water?
No, never heard of him.
Well,
enlighten me.
I can't think of his name. Well, actually, one of the other breath practitioners, we were talking about that. Okay, so I was talking about that with Tiffany Ryder. She knows the name. But the key area is this. If you give love to the water flows evenly, smoothly, in a loving fashion. The energy is very powerful. But if you give hate, negative vibrations, the frequencies goes into the water in a negative format, and the water is like poison. The human body is the same. The human body can correct itself just through the communications. Now, that perhaps if a person really has heart challenges, I don't like to say heart problems, heart challenges, because if you say I got a bad heart, then you're accepting that you got a bad heart. So I always say this is a challenge. I'm challenged with a cold. I need to do something about it. That means I need to
think most of the
myself.
time people will say I got a bad heart because that would be the diagnosis from the doctor.
That's true. And that's why even the doctors have to learn how to communicate. But they are still not ahead. Years from now, we will see a difference.
Do you think we'll be going back to maybe the way our ancestors did things as far as medically is concerned?
Perhaps, but I don't want to put down medicine, because there are some good inventions that's come up. But the key thing that we have to understand is how to communicate. Communication is the factor that brings forth life and death. Again, it's in the tongue. So in other words, harmony or disharmony. we speak against ourselves, that's disharmony. I got a cold. I got this. I got arthritis. I got. You got nothing unless you want it. And if you want it, say I got it. Because now you have taken possession of something that you don't want. Okay.
I can understand that. I've had my issues this year, and the way I've been able to get rid of them, of course, I had to utilize a medical system, but I decided I didn't want it anymore. And, I kept a good mental state of mind, if you want to say, in it, and prayers and family support, but I'm pretty good right now. But I do like the I like the techniques that you're talking about, the breathing techniques. I think that's something that people need to learn how to do more, learn how to communicate with themselves.
Well, and that's it. I like that you said it's the state of mind, because everything begins in mind or with a thought. We call that psychogenesis, psycho-mind genesis beginning. Now, the next part of the body is the king, the brain. You want to give the brain the love. When you give the brain the love, okay, do you know what they say? We only use like about 3 to 5% of our brain.
Yeah, something like that, somewhere around that area. Yeah.
Yeah. So guess what? When you give your brain love and tell him how much you love him, the cells of the brain, which were dormant, they become resurrected with life and energy. And it builds up your retention to a high level where you become so creative, so energetic mentally, that you begin to amaze yourself. So the brain and the heart, when they receive this love, they magnetically polarize and then come together. And they call that internal copulation. When we have that state of internal love within ourselves that we have given our heart and brain, we become more powerful and more in tune. Now the body is ready to take in the breath to transform it into spirit. So we breathe around the tree. We exchange the energy of the life force of man and nature, and we become even more powerful. We become synced with the energy of the creator. So what do we do? The first breathing exercise, like I said, there are 33.
Wow.
The first breathing exercise is called embryonic breathing.
Right.
Do you know why it's called embryonic breathing?
Well, it sounds like from a baby, straight from the embryo.
Absolutely right. Yes,
Right.
we got to return back into our natural state.
Right. Well, on that note, this is what I have to do, because my show is only half an hour. So we're already about 28, 29 minutes in. So I'm going to give you this opportunity to give out your information, let people know who you are and where we can contact you. And maybe tell about your classes, where we can sign up for some of your classes.
Okay. Well, I'm not one to advertise. So basically, when people, when they say when the student is ready, or when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's an old saying. But for those who really want to connect and learn, I can be reached at this number, 570-350-7350. I can be reached there.
You want to repeat that for the people?
570-350-7350. A lot of the
570. Wow, I'm slow.
570-350-7350. And I can be reached.
Okay, that's a little better when I put my glasses on.
Yeah.
All right. 570-350.
Yes.
Yes.
For those who want to regenerate themselves.
And the last four?
7350.
7350. Okay, I just want to put it on the screen so that everybody can see it.
Mhm.
That's all. Just want everybody to see it. So if anybody wants to get in contact with this young man, please dial this number, please. That would be 570-350-7350.
And we will help you to regenerate your life. And this is so important. Breathe to live. Breathe to live. Not so much in the body, but in the spirit. You know, it's good to, people say, I want to live a long life. Long life is good, but a long life is not good if you're suffering. So we want to be able to destroy that which is seeking to destroy you.
Right.
So that you live in peace and harmony.
All right. And on that note, I'm going to say peace and thank you very much for coming in. And we got to have a part 2 so that we can continue this conversation. I apologize. We're only a half an hour show. I didn't hear you.
We can have a part 2, and we'll go into the breathing exercise.
Right. We'll pick up right from where we left off at. That sounds like a good idea to me. All right. Here we go. My name is Kendall Stevenson. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Empowerment Show. You guys that have tuned in, please click like, subscribe. We really appreciate it. If you like to have a little more information from this young man that came in this evening, that would be Dan McNeedy. Give him a call. Really, pick up the phone. Give him a call. He has a lot to talk about. All right. My name is Kendall Stevenson. This is the Empowerment Show. And as always, be yourself because everybody else is taken.